New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Good evening, and welcome to the Soul of Prosperity here on the New Thought Media Network. I'm your host, the Reverend Dr. Jim Webb. I serve as the Senior Minister of the Tacoma Metaphysical Chapel in Silver Spring, Maryland. I'm also author of the book, The Soul of Prosperity, as well as a number of other books, including 30 P's for Prosperity, Forgive Your Way to Prosperity, Prosperity from A to Z, and Create Your Self-Manifesting Vision Board, all of which are available on audiobook now. So it's a joy and a pleasure to be here each Sunday evening. So each Sunday evening here on the Miracle of Prosperity, we look at a number of different ways that we can experience prosperity. We may look at professional prosperity, where we, in the words of Florence Scovel Shinn, have a wonderful job with wonderful pay, where we provide a wonderful service in a wonderful way. We may look at relationship prosperity, where our relationships are outer reflections of our inner relationship with ourselves. So we develop a relationship with ourselves within where we experience unconditional loving acceptance and full self-support. So our relationships outside of us are loving, accepting, and supportive. We may also look at logistical prosperity, where our lives work more easily and effortlessly, and conflicts and dramas are minimized. Of course, we may look at spiritual prosperity, where we experience the peace that passes all understanding, and a prosperity of support in every way. For as we become self-loving and self-supportive, the universe reflects that loving support in that all of the resources of any sort that we need are available to us easily and effortlessly, whether that be financial resources, professional resources, or other resources that support a comfortable, peaceful, joyful life. So we do all of that each Sunday evening, but we often hone in on one specific aspect of prosperity. So tonight's show is entitled, Intend Your Way to Prosperity. Intend your way to prosperity. We look at the power of intention. As Wayne Dyer says in his book, The Power of Intention, An intention goes a long way in setting up what you desire to manifest. A clear, loving, powerful intention that you can adhere to no matter what will often support the manifestation of your desire easily and effortlessly. So it's important for us to be very clear and very aware of the power of our intentions and how to use our intentions optimally to manifest the prosperity we deserve and desire. So, as you may have already guessed, my regular guests, I am not alone here. As you can guess from the background, I'm in our Florida studio with my dear friend Ed Miller, who is a spiritual teacher, wise sage, the author of the book Soul Power, Unlocking Your Soul Power. And he's here with us live in person tonight. Good evening, Ed.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm so glad I could be here. I always enjoy these meetings with you.
I'm always glad to have one with you, and you are one of our guests' favorites. So we're glad you're here. So this intention thing, let's talk about it a little bit. What is an intention anyway?
Well, first thing I want to say is that I've discovered in my life, and I'm sure successful people always discover this, is that the only way you're able to get any place, to accomplish things, to get things done, to get things off your plate, to dream big, but then accomplish big, is to be intentional. And throughout my life, everything I've undertook, from being a parent to being a business owner to starting a spiritual movement, everything I've done has been intentional.
What's that mean, intentional?
Intentional means to me being very clear, very, very clear as to what I'm trying to accomplish, staying focused on it, not allowing myself to get distracted by things, align everything I do with that intention. How I spend my time, who I associate with, everything has to align in order to be truly productive and demonstrate on a high level. You have to be clearly intentional. And I think in this new world we're in right now, this new age we're in, things are so overwhelming for people. People don't know what to look at. They don't know what to choose. They are being told this is important and that's important, and this has to be done first and that has to be done next. And we're getting bombarded with instructions on how to do things, and it keeps people from becoming clear, intentional. And I'm looking forward to this discussion because you and I both have been intentional, so we kind of know what it's all about. But now, people are just running from it. They're running from it because the universe is pointing them in so many directions that are important to look at.
Right. So if I'm one of these people running around in my life like a cockroach when the light comes on, going from pillar to post, not clear about what I'm doing and why, and not knowing where I'm going because I believe that the universe outside of me is directing all of this, but I really want prosperity, then how do I discover my intention? Because I would imagine in order to be intentional, you have to first have an intention and be clear and firm in it. So how do I discover what my intention is or is to be?
Well, I did a little research and I found out some points that I wanted to discuss in our talks right now. And one of the most important things is know what truly matters.
Right.
We don't know what really matters to us or to anything.
So how do I develop an awareness of my deepest values? And the reason that is so important is because quite often we don't even know what we value. We have been so conditioned by the outer world to, just like a trained seal, look for approval outside of ourselves, that we have forgotten our own deep desires, our deep soul calling, and our soul's intention. So how do we get back to that?
Well, this is a good question. Good question. I think that what we have to do is start to be real with ourselves. What are we really here to do?
Mhm.
We are inspired by things. We're inspired by getting things done, accomplishing things, having goals, getting education, acquiring things, cars, home, businesses, jobs. We're inspired to do that, but we have to get very clear as to what we plan to do and how we plan to do it.
So how do we get clear?
We get clear by first of all, what I do is I put everything on paper.
Mhm.
Not on paper, it's still rattling around in my head. So
Okay.
paper becomes a concrete thing that I have to support. I
Uh-huh.
have boundaries. I have to then set up goals and schedules, and I have to build my thinking around accomplishing whatever I am intending. So
Okay.
it really does take a lot of introspection to what my behaviors are. A lot
Okay.
of introspection, yes.
Okay. So if I hear you correctly, the first two steps are: number one, concretize your intention, and number two, clarify your intention through inner work, inner awareness, and I would actually add, and in dialogue with God
Yes.
through meditation.
Yes.
Because with God, God may have an intention that is greater, grander, more powerful, more easy, more effective than ours, because God can see around corners that we can't. So if I hear you correctly, what one of the things you're saying is sit with yourself, but of course, wherever you are, God is, because there is a part of you that is God, and sit with God and listen. And this gets back to something we were discussing a little bit before, how we've listened to so much noise outside of us that we often miss the still, small voice within and the voice for God
Yeah.
that is speaking through that still, small voice.
Yeah.
So getting still is one of the first parts of being intentional, and then listening and concretizing what is your intention is important. Is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Big thing I've ever accomplished in my life. As I said before, I first put it on paper, but then once I was able to be inspired with the idea, and it's always an inspiring idea to
Mhm.
make things better, to bring love into the world, to be able to share on a larger level, to be able to bring goodness to somehow to whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Yes, and I want to hold off. I want to hold that point for a moment because this is extremely important. You said an extremely important word there, my friend. You said the word inspire,
Yes.
meaning that our deepest, most profound, most effective intentions are those that are in alignment with our souls, with our spirits, with our eternal selves, and with the Spirit of God. Is that accurate?
Yes, and we have to be aware of what the difference between that is and our ego's wanting.
Yes. So
Because
tell me, how do we get that clarity between
for
those two?
if my goal or if my intention humbles me to the
Yeah.
extent where I'm feeling like this is something that I was given to do, this
Mm-hmm.
that I'm capable of doing, that
Mm-hmm.
through me is a divine act,
Yes.
I don't get distracted. I
Yes.
feel as though I'm now grounded in this goal or this intention, and
Mm-hmm.
my job is to protect it.
Mm.
Protect it with boundaries, protect
Mm-hmm.
love, protect it, feed it with people and things that help to support that and to encourage it. That's my objective. So it
Mm.
does, stepping out of your mind, because your mind
Yes.
also is about limitations.
Yes.
When you're inspired with an intention, there are no limitations.
Mm.
It's just demonstration.
Yes.
But
Let's dig down on that a little bit more, because that reminds me of a scripture. With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are
yeah,
possible. And when you have an intention that is divinely inspired, you are working in concert with the highest, greatest power.
Are.
So all things are possible. Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Okay.
All things are possible because it's no longer about you anymore, the ego, the me. It's about greatness you can create, or what greatness you can be part of, and what great you're directed to create or to demonstrate. And it's always and often when you get very clear and intentional, there are angels and resources all around to help you move toward that. But your job is to hold precious your intentions.
Okay. Okay. And let's talk about some of the ways that we can hold precious our intentions by addressing some of the things that can blaspheme our intentions. One of the things I notice is that when people are feeling less loving of themselves, less clear about who they are, less confident that they will always have the loving support that they desire, they chase that outside of them to almost at the expense of their divine intention.
Yeah.
So how can we address this outer noise so that we can guard our intention that we hold with God so jealously that we don't let the ego and its need for outer validation jeopardize that? What are some things we can do?
One of the things I can think of is that we're going to have to create the space for reflection.
Okay.
We have to create the space for, okay, if we're intentional, then are we in line with that? Are we supporting that in how we're doing things? We need to continue to look inside and look at the life that has been created for us, and we try to find where are the tools, where are the resources that can take us closer to what we're doing, because they're all there.
Yes.
They're not hiding from us because we've become intentional. Once we become intentional, the resources are no longer hidden. It's just it's our job to have our hearts open and available for them. And often they come packaged in things that don't look like what we think they should look like. So we have to just be fluid and heartfelt and be aware of our fearful thoughts, because the mind is always full of fearful thoughts that tells you can't do this and this can't be done and I don't have anybody and I don't know who's going to help me. I mean, those are all the thoughts of the mind. The heart, this is what God's given me to do. And I'm going to happen because this is on my plate. And I'm specially instructed and supported in this intent.
Okay, that helps me clarify, because there's a lesson in A Course in Miracles that this actually reminds me of. That lesson is, God is my goal today. And that lesson is repeated about 5 to 10 times in the Course. But the essence of it is the same lesson that in the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else shall be added unto you. God, focus on the light of God. Let that be your primary focus. And as you said, God will say, hey, there's a resource. Hey, there's the help you need. Hey, I'm going to dump this right in front of you so you trip over it, and this will help you.
And then while all this blessing is being bombarded with you, you have to be super conscious of what your mind is doing to try to chase it away. And recognize in those moments, and those moments when you're triggered, that's something that's not real, it's not to bear, and that all you have to do is again stay loyal and stay committed.
Okay, beautiful. Let's work with that for a moment, because A Course in Miracles basically teaches us that only my mind injures me, and many of these things I am thinking are illusions. They are not true. They are not real. They don't have power over me. I've given them power over me because I've believed that they are the source for the love that I need to survive, because I have forgotten that God is the source of the love that I need to survive, and I am one with God. And in that oneness, I am the love I seek.
Yes. And then at the same time, it's important that when we are directed and inspired toward, that we give ourselves credit. Oh, look what I did today. Oh, I got that done. We have to, the self-talk we have to give ourselves during those moments when our minds are trying to take it away from us. We need to change our attention to encouraging point of view.
In other words, if we were a seal, we'd have to feed ourselves sardines.
Yes.
Okay. So in other words, folks, feed yourself some sardines from time to time, just like you're a seal at SeaWorld when you have these little micro accomplishments, because
Yeah,
they reinforce.
not just do it seldomly, do it every day, all day long. I used to
Yes.
have a button on my desk in my office, which it was a Staples button, and you press
Easy. I saw it.
that was easy.
Yes.
So what that did was is that when I
Yes.
accomplished it, when I get something done, when I had a success on a phone
Yes.
call or accomplishment, I would
Yes.
always give myself that attaboy. And that
Yes.
felt good. Oh, there I go again, and
Yes.
we're feeding that good feeling. We're
Yes.
feeling that intentional feeling of getting ourselves in line with what we're supposed to be doing.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. It's like that seal at SeaWorld. Every time you do something, feed yourself a sardine.
Just have a sardine, yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, wow, I'm already so inspired by you, Ed. I'm sure there's some other things that you can teach us on the other side of the break. So we're going to go to a break right now, and we'll be back here on the Miracle of Prosperity.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center, Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
New Thought Media Network is excited to present Divine Science Everywhere, Fridays at 2 p.m. Mountain Time and 4 p.m. Eastern. Come explore a modern experience of divine science. With Reverend Joy Fletcher, Reverend Jeff Radcliffe, and Bishop Durrell Watkins. Join us as we open our eyes to divine science everywhere we look. Fridays on New Thought Media Network.
And we're back here on the Miracle of Prosperity with Ed Miller, author of the book Soul Power. And we're talking about the power of intentions and intend your way to prosperity. Now, one of the things that you keep emphasizing for our viewers, Ed, is how you have to be intentional. You have to be focused, or as a scripture in the Bible says, with thine eye be single, meaning be singularly focused on that intention. And so can you share with our audience some techniques for avoiding, deflecting, and or moving through the distractions that would otherwise take us from our intention?
Yeah, I have a couple of them that I think are meaningful. One is say yes to only what you want. You know, we find ourselves, because we want to be agreeable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we find ourselves, oh yeah, I'll do that. Oh yes, I'll be there. Oh yeah, I'll get that done for you. We find ourselves being agreeing. And it's always nice to be agreeable, but often we're agreeable against our own best interest or our best interest of our intentions. So when we go on.
And I want to say something there. I want to quote Jesus there. I must be about my Father's business. And the reason that is so important and was so instructional for me was that was an illustration of how he was on purpose, and that Christed energy within us also deserves and desires to stay on purpose. So just like Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business, we must also say, I must be about the business of my soul, my higher self, the business that I came here to do on earth. And one of the keys for staying in that Christed energy is to know that God is the source. You see, one of the reasons we get all distracted by, I got to do this for this one, got to do that for that one, this one asked me to do this, that one asked me to do that. One of the reasons we get lost on those off ramps that are off ramps from our intention is because we believe that they are the source of our self-esteem, the source of our support, the source of our well-being. And when we commune with and are in oneness with God, we know that God is the source of all of that. And these are simply conduits through which God's support is offered. So we can then say, I must be about my Father's business and stay in alignment.
Yeah, and we have to accept it's okay to say no too.
Yes.
Our egos or our programmed self wants to be cooperative. We see something that needs our help, and we feel finally inspired to help them. That's not intentional. That's getting lost in our ego. Oh, I want to help this person. I want to be part of this. If it doesn't align with your intentions that you've set, you can let it go. You don't have to jump on it. You don't have to support it. You can say, you know what, this is not for me right now. Right now, I'm focusing on this. And maybe some other time I'll be able to give you some help and support. But right now, my heart is telling me to stay close to this, stay close to what I, and that's what I'm. And, you know, that dedication, that your intention gives a pathway for God to demonstrate for you also. You know, you are, you talked about it before, you're a conduit toward God's good. And when you stay sacred with your intentions, you know, God has everything to do but bless those intentions and find in order to make them demonstrate for you.
Yes.
But you have to be willing to say no when distractions come in. You have to say no. That's outside of my boundaries. No, you know, maybe it's some other time, but at this time, this is what I'm doing right now. It means that kind of relationship with your intention. You're safeguarding your intentions.
Yes.
You're emphasizing in the world who you speak to and your intentions. And as you do that, the universe will return the blessings that come from that.
Okay. So your intention is like an infant that must be cared for, that must be nurtured, that must be fed, that must be supported, because it's not going to support itself. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, and you can't leave them at your neighbor's house, your new neighbor's house, hoping they're going to care for it the way you would. You got hands-on attention yourself. Intentional can sometimes feel boring because you're not, you know, as you know, ready to slip and slide into other projects or other agendas. You're very focused. And focus is a divine opportunity to demonstrate in the way that God demonstrates intentionally.
So if I hear you correctly, you're telling our viewers sometimes it's exciting to be this for this person, be that for that person, do this for this person, be all over there because that's exciting, it's dynamic. And what I hear you saying is don't be afraid to be boring with your intention. Don't be afraid to be singular in your intention. Don't be afraid to be focused in your intention. And if I hear you correctly, one of the other things you said that I really would like for us to emphasize for our viewers is saying no to someone else could be saying yes to God.
Yes.
And reframing it that way can help us be more comfortable saying no. I must say no to this because my saying no to this is the equivalent of saying yes to God.
Well, let me ask you a question. I just thought about something. What about those people that are pleasers?
Mm-hmm.
I want to do this for them. I want to get this done. I have to take some of my day doing this, helping them with this. All that is pulling us away from how to deal with people who are pleasers and who want to make other people happy. How do we respond to that? See, I know how to respond to that because I can pretty be self-centered in something.
Yes.
I can get on my boat and just drive out to the middle of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are looking to please others more. How do you handle that, would you say?
The word that pops into my head is self-possessed with a capital S. And what I mean by that is you said you can be self-possessed. You can hold within you the intention. You can hold within you enough self-esteem that you don't have to sacrifice yourself in order to get self-esteem from being the good guy for someone else. And that's being self-possessed. I want to take that an octave higher and talk about being self-possessed by your capital S, your higher self.
Yes.
Be in alignment with your higher self, which knows that what it needs, it gets from God. That higher self is always plugged into God. That higher self is always plugged into the higher vibration. That higher self is always plugged into that higher frequency, and it is getting that high octane light.
Yes.
From that higher frequency. And so the shiny object here and the shiny object there has no appeal for it. It's like, what I could go get distracted and do this thing with this person.
Yes.
But then I'm losing my big light.
Yeah.
And that sort of being self-possessed.
How would you explain to somebody that feels everything that's coming to their purview is a support for their intentions? Everything. Oh, look at that. That'll help me out. I'm gonna grab that and put that in the shopping cart too. They're busy out there. Everything that's shiny, they feel is about helping them toward their intention. And it really isn't like that. It really, everything that's shiny in front of your face, everything that looks glimmer and fun is not necessarily divinely aligned with your intention.
Yes. I would say to people to have, like that old Stevie Wonder song, have a talk with God.
Yes.
Bounce it off of God. Remember, in this process of manifestation, or what some call co-creation, we're not alone in it. We have a partner. We have the wisest, richest partner that's connected to everything and everyone. We have the most loving partner. We have the most resourceful partner who is the source of all resources. And so if you had a partner like that, why would you not consult them? So ask God, is this in alignment with the intention that we hold? Is this in alignment with the intention you hold for me? Is this in alignment with the place that we visioned ourselves to be? And each time you ask, you get an answer, yes or no. Get a yes, go forward. Get a no, say no.
And that takes me to another point I want to make about being intentional. We have to be present.
Yes.
We have to be very present. We can't be so lost in our wantings.
Yes.
All of our wantings. I want achievement. I want success. I want to be enough. We have to be aware of all those wantings.
Yes.
In order to be present. And we need to be present to the extent of in prayer. We need to be present in the extent of being in meditation. We need to be consciously thinking about what's in the moment, not what should be or can't be or shouldn't have been or won't ever be. We need to step out of those thinking and get very present on what we have in the moment as an opportunity.
Yes. Focus, focus, focus.
Focus, focus, focus. Yes.
Yes, exactly. Wonderful. And that can really help us. Now, I want to ask you this question, Ed. Have you ever had an intention literally pull you forward effortlessly?
Wow. You know what? I'd like to say I have, but I'm a hardworking guy. And
Hmm.
when I do become intentional, I
Hmm.
don't let, I know there's lots of things to distract me. I know it. I know it. I know it. There's always going to be something to distract me. And I'm a dimensional person. There's a lot of things that are interesting to me.
Yes.
But when I'm inspired intentionally, it's in my heart.
Hmm.
I've placed that intention in my heart. So I
Hmm.
don't have to do anything but be true to it. True to my,
Hmm. Yes.
yeah, that's,
So, so what I find is that when I'm on intention, things are effortless. When I'm not on intention, things are tedious.
yeah, well, yeah.
And so I find that my intention sometimes just draws me forward, and it like pages come out. I'll type pages in minutes because I'm on intention. And when I'm not, it's a
Yeah.
different story.
Well, I got 10 benefits of having clarity of purpose in our age of being overwhelmed. And I've got these 10 points, and we can talk about them, but I want to bring up the first one says, you stop wasting energy. Once you become intentional, you stop, your energy is your commodity. That's your,
Yes.
so when you become intentional, you stop floating here and there and getting lost in other distractions. You
You're
become,
self-contained.
yeah,
Yes.
self-contained.
Okay.
The next one is decisions become simple. A
Does it
lot.
align yes or no?
There you go.
Okay, that's simple.
And it could be that, or let me see what's happening here. It's simple. It seems to be more intentional. Everything, the choices seem to be more simple,
Yes.
more direct to point.
Yes.
So the next one is you resist distractions more easily. We talked about that. You resist
Yes.
distractions more. You start realizing what you're holding is in your heart. So you
Yes.
don't have to be pulled into a whole bunch of dreams in your mind. You can stay true to yourself.
Yes.
Um, productivity becomes natural, not forced. So,
Yes.
for example, if you've got some functions in your intentions you don't really know how to get done, and maybe somebody else can help you, just being intentional, find the resources start coming to you. Right now,
Yes.
where we live in now with the internet
Yes.
and AI, we can find the initial steps to everything.
Exactly.
AI is
And inspiration, I find that inspiration pops
yes,
into my head.
it
And
does.
sometimes words pop out of my
They
mouth.
too.
For example, the other day, someone called about getting involved with some organization to do this, that, and the other. And before I knew what I was saying, I said, this doesn't align with my goals. This doesn't move me forward in my individual vision for my life. This doesn't move the Tacoma Metaphysical Chapel forward in the collective intention for my employer. So I'm not going to waste my energy on this. And I was nice and polite about it.
Yeah. Well,
But
what about it?
it was shocking to me how clear it was.
What about when somebody challenged you? Well, that's not very nice. Well, why don't
Well,
you?
that's just how it is. Because that's basically it came out of my mouth. And you know what? I didn't even feel the need to explain it or justify it any further. It's like simple declarative sentence, drop your voice at the end, no need to discuss, debate, or in any other way justify. And
Yeah.
it was done. Just like that, it was done. It was over.
Yeah, I like that. Well, the
And
next
that
one
was cool.
is productivity becomes natural and not forced. Uh,
Yes.
your mind becomes sharper.
Yes. Because your
You know,
mind is holding only the ideas that you hold with God. There's a lesson in A Course in Miracles. My mind thinks only what I think with God. Your mind is only holding the idea and the vision of God. Your energy is holding only the energy of God, for you are aligned, and it just moves through you like water through a fire hose
that's
and
right.
gushes out of you in the
It-
form of productivity.
the next one is it decreases stress. When you're
There's
moving
no conflict.
back, there's no conflict. You don't have to. You sleep at night because you spent your day that hitting your that was easy button.
Yes.
So you're getting,
Yes.
you're moving forward. You're acknowledging that you're accomplishing what your heart's desire is. So
Yes.
yeah, there's going to be a lot. Your mind's going to be sharper.
Yes,
And
absolutely. So it
Um,
sounds like there are a number of different tools that we can use. And the key, it sounds like, from what I'm hearing from you, is be clear in your intention. You get clarity by consulting with God. Be firm in your intention. And this helps you to guide each and every micro decision so that in your alignment with God, you move effortlessly, easily, effectively, and efficiently towards your intention. Sounds like all the resources start lining up then, the resistance starts flowing away. Now, I
yeah.
have one last
Well,
question.
let me respond to that. You operate with intention instead of reaction.
Okay.
We know when we're reacting, when we're coming out of reaction mode.
Mm-hmm.
We usually, the ego is saying, "Oh, I got to do this," or "Oh, this has to be done." Where, when we're intentional, it's just all it seems to be puzzle pieces that are fit together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Good, good. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, it sounds like we've gotten some wonderful guidance tonight on how to intend our way to prosperity. And the last thing that pops into my head about this is that your intention is sacred. Your intention is golden. Your intention is the tool for your prosperity. So guard it jealously, guard it religiously, guard it as a sacred scarab. You know what a sacred scarab was from like Saturday morning cartoons back then.
Yeah.
Your intention is your sacred scarab. Treat it as sacred. Does that make sense, Reverend Ed?
Does make sense. You know what? I can relate this to because many of us have had children, and
Yes.
once you have a baby, you
Mhm.
have to be intentional.
Yes.
You can't be maybe this, maybe that, maybe my mom can take care of it, maybe I can get it. Your heartfelt intention is to nurture and protect this new child.
Yes.
With all of that, you have to be this. It's a sacred bond. You have to
Yes.
be very clear as to what you're envisioning for that intention. You want your child to be secure, and you want your child to be happy. You want your child to be made into a situation where that's healthy, and all that is very intentional. And that's just like it is with any other intention you have
Mm.
in your heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
So treat your intention like a sacred child.
Yes, I
And
like
if
that.
you, and if
Like
you do that, you can't go wrong.
you can't.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you, Ed, for this wisdom and this guidance tonight. Our audience absolutely appreciates you, and so do I. So, what are you working on these days?
Well, I just moved. I just moved from a suburban home on the lake to a downtown Fort Lauderdale home. So I've kind of been focusing all my attention on getting this new lifestyle straightened out. I went from a big house into like a condominium that's beautiful overlooking the ocean, but it's taking a toll on my nervous system.
Yes.
I don't know where I fit anymore. So I've given
Uh-huh.
myself this last end of the year just to focus on getting comfortable, making my home comfortable for my wife and I. And
Okay.
then I have big plans for 2026.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That sounds wonderful, Ed.
How about you?
Well, I'm working on visioning my 2026. If you want a 2026 different than your 2025, according to Spirit, now is the time to start cobbling that together. So I'm doing a class called Create a Self-Manifesting Vision Board,
Okay.
which is based on my book, which is now available on audio, Create a Self-Manifesting Vision Board, where we look at all the different ways that we can create a self-manifesting vision board for 2026. What do you want to experience? Who do you want to be? What are the key aspects of your life that you would like to emphasize? Now is the time to vision board it so that you can manifest it. And this class is on Thursdays. We've had one, we've got others. There are a couple of slots available for this one. My other one is sold out. And you can always get the recordings and figure out, what do you want to be for 2026? Vision board it now, create it now, so that it manifests then. So that's what I'm working on. And I mentioned a couple times that now all of my titles are available on audiobook. The Soul of Prosperity has been available on audiobook forever. But now the others, such as Create Your Self-Manifesting Vision Board and 30 P's to Prosperity and Prosperity from A to Z, they're all available on audiobook now. I'm so excited. And so many more people have access to them in more ways.
Did you use your voice?
No, I didn't.
I didn't use my voice. By the way, the name of my book, if people look for it, is called Uncovering and Embracing Soul Power. So you have to remember, if you go to Amazon, you look for Uncovering and Embracing Soul Power.
Uncovering and Embracing Soul Power. We'll remember that. Well, thank you, and go to Amazon and find Ed's book, Uncovering and Embracing Soul Power, and come back with us every Sunday evening for the Miracle of Prosperity here on the New Thought Media Network.
Thank you.
Thank you.